absolute favorite dish is lobster. When I used to fly back home to New Brunswick, my mom would always have a lobster dinner prepared for me the second I walked in the door. I'm Andrea Bayne, principal dancer with Ballet Victoria.
Our guest today is Andrea Bayne, principal dancer for Ballet Victoria. Today we're preparing butter poached lobster with shaved asparagus and vanilla sea cider vinaigrette. We're making her dish my way. I'm Garrett Schack, and that's what we're cooking on the coast. Today we perform a pas de deux in the kitchen with special guest Andrea Bayne, principal dancer with Ballet Victoria. Hi Andrea, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you today?
I've got some delicious lobster for you today.
That is my favorite.
That's what I heard. So, in ballet terms, this menu will be a grande performance. We're going to prepare your dish my way. Butter poached lobster with shaved asparagus salad and a sea cider and vanilla vinaigrette.
Oh my gosh.
Sounds pretty tasty.
Delicious.
Yeah. Does it sound like back home, or maybe just a little more elegant?
Sounds like the Maritimes to me.
As soon as you say lobster,
fancier.
A little fancier.
Yeah.
As soon as you say, they would just be like it would just be butter dipping.
Yes,
in
absolutely.
The
That's what I'm
right?
used to.
Yeah, absolutely. So first thing we want to do, you can see we got a beautiful fresh lobster here. I mean, this guy is guy or girl. I'm not sure what they harvest, but anyway, beautiful, beautiful crustacean.
Yes.
Now, you know, back home, and we shared this story a little bit earlier, is they might just dunk it right in boiling water. I don't think that that's terribly humane. So what I prefer to do, and what most kitchens do nowadays, is we'll kill the lobster first. So we're going to warn our viewers, and you too, if you want to turn away while I do this. But there's a little point right here on the lobster. You can see it's nice and fresh.
Yeah.
There's a point right here where the skull comes back, and that's right where we want to pierce it with the knife.
Right.
Okay? So
Okay, I'm going to look away.
all right, you look away.
Okay.
Everyone else at home, I'm about to do this, so look away if you will. But this is the most humane way to do it, and it instantly kills the lobster, and now it's done. All right, so we can get on with the cooking part of it. Let's look over here at the pot, what I'm going to do. So I've just got some water that I've got started. I got a nice big pot here. I've salted the water because we want that water to taste good, and then we're just gonna add some aromatic vegetables and some herbs and spices here. So I've got some fresh thyme that's going in there, and I'm gonna add some onions, some carrots, some celery, and some peppercorns. So that's just gonna, like, if we were to just put it in plain old water, it would be kind of, I don't know, it would absorb some of that plain water flavor, and we don't want that.
Right.
We want to add some other flavors to that. So I'm just gonna turn that up because we want this to be a nice boil, and then we're gonna go ahead and put our newly found friend here into the water.
He's gone now.
He is gone. Yeah, he's done. All right. So we're just gonna dip him in there. There we go. Perfect. And we'll put the lid back on, and we're gonna let that cook for probably just about 10 to 11 minutes or so. Now, if we were just to eat it as is, we'd want to cook it a little bit less. But in this particular case, we're going with a shorter time period because we're actually going to poach it in butter afterwards. All right.
Wow.
So now some of the part that you can help me with.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna make our asparagus salad. Okay. So we got some lovely asparagus here.
Yep.
And do you know the trick with asparagus?
Isn't it you break it where it bends?
Yeah, exactly. Where it snaps is where it's most tender. And you get to shoot it at the camera, guys. It's great. So you break it where it snaps the most easy. So grab a couple there, and you can start doing that. And then we're just gonna peel these guys, and this is going to be our salad. All right.
Oh.
Okay. How about you give that a try?
Okay.
Now I want to save the tips here because these we're going to blanch in our court bouillon, and these are going to be nice and tender and part of our salad as well. So is this the kind of stuff you have to do on a daily basis, or what?
Not even a little bit.
Not even close, hey?
Not even close.
So tell me about the day in a principal ballerina's life.
I wake up, I go to the studio. We start with a morning class.
Okay.
And after the morning class, we start working on whatever repertoire we're working on during that day, and we rehearse almost 6 to 8 hours every day.
6 to 8 hours a day.
Yes.
And so explain to me a little bit. Like, what's a repertoire?
Repertoire is like, let's say, have you heard of the Nutcracker you mentioned?
I have, yep.
Things like that. Nutcracker or Sleeping Beauty or Romeo and Juliet, and we rehearse whatever program we're performing next.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that something, like, so you go on the road with this, right? So you're based here in Victoria, but then you travel
We do. We've
all
traveled, the furthest I've been performing would be Japan.
Can I have a turn?
Can you just please take over?
Can you just do this?
I'm a terrible cook.
That's quite all right. But you're a good eater.
I'm a great eater.
Well, so if you're rehearsing 6 to 8 hours a day, I mean, you got to work up an appetite, right?
That's the thing, is like dancers are usually pretty lean, but surprisingly enough,
I'm clearly not a dancer. But
we
nobody trusts a skinny chef either.
That's very
right?
true.
See, yeah,
right?
there you go.
But I think if you're exerting 6 to 8 hours worth of energy all day, you have to be replenishing yourself. That's one of the most important things about dancers, is that they do stay healthy so injuries don't occur.
Yeah, right. I mean, you have to have a pretty strong regiment of, training beyond just dancing too,
Absolutely.
I'm sure, right? Like,
I mean, you eat a lot, but you eat a lot of good foods,
Right.
but you do have to.
So you're not out eating cheeseburgers every day?
No.
Do you?
I'm not a red meat girl.
Oh, no? Okay.
No.
Oh, well, hence the lobster, right?
Yes, hence the lobster. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so we've got our nicely shaved asparagus here. Looks great.
Yeah.
You did an excellent job, by the way. Thank you for that. Now I'm going to ask you
You're
to.
a good liar.
I'm going to ask you to get some of your muscles out
Okay.
here. Like, what did we say? Small but mighty.
Small but mighty.
Small but mighty. I like it. So I'm going to ask you to just crush up a few of these hazelnuts.
Okay.
Using just the bottom of that bowl, you can kind of just squish them down there like that. There you go. Yeah, get some anger out.
Oh,
There
that's
you go.
fun.
I like it.
Good.
Awesome. Meanwhile, I have a strainer here. And I'm just going to put these asparagus tips in, and then I'm going to throw them into our pot within the court bouillon. The lobster's still cooking away in there.
Ooh, pretty.
Yeah, look at how that color changed. Hey, nice and bright red now. Looks great. And I'm just going to dunk this in, just to let that asparagus just cook out a little bit, so it's not like too crunchy in our salad here. Okay. Perfect. So you can kind of scoop those all up and fire them. I'll take the bowl.
Okay.
You can scoop those all up and put them in with our salad. Excellent. We've got some lovely local cider here. I don't know if you know much about the scene on the West Coast here about ciders, but they sure are taking off and they're delicious. So some local cider. I've got just a little hint more of acidity, so I'm using some rice wine vinegar.
Okay.
Fire that in there. And then some lovely sweetness with some vanilla beans. So I'm using a vanilla paste. I don't know, not too many people have seen this before, but you can find it at specialty shops. And instead of having to scrape out the vanilla beans and all that kind of stuff, you can just use this paste here, and it adds a bit of sweetness. And you still get that awesome sort of speckled look in your dish. And then we want some oils. 2 different types of oil today. I'm using vegetable oil, a fair bit, and then some olive oil. So if you use all olive oil, the flavor is really intense. Like, smell that.
Oh,
You sort of smell like a little bit of grass. It's,
Yeah.
right? It's a really strong flavor. So
Yeah.
I like to just cut that a little bit with the vegetable oil. I'm gonna get you to whisk that
Okay.
while I pour some honey into it, okay? So we got this really sort of sweet and sour thing going on here. And we both know from eating lobster in our day how sweet the meat is on lobster, right?
True.
So we kind of want that balance of flavors here. There we go. So tell me a little bit more about this dancing thing that you do here. How long have you been a ballerina? And did you always start as a ballerina, or?
I started training when I was, I think my mom put me into lessons because I was running around the house just
Get you out from under her
Just
feet?
like, you need to do something.
Yeah.
Energy out of the. So I was like 3. She put me into classes in the East Coast,
Yeah.
and I just fell in love with it, and I have never stopped since.
Really? Have you just
Yeah.
been dancing around everywhere ever since?
Dancing everywhere ever since. I knew it.
So since you were 3, that's fantastic. And just you knew back then that you wanted to be a was it ballerina that you wanted to do the show, or like that you wanted to be
Yeah.
on stage?
Yeah,
Because that must be kind of nerve-wracking, isn't it?
It is and it isn't. It's kind of my safety zone, actually. Like, you get into this headspace where everything is exactly like you don't even have to think. Your muscle memory takes over, and you're performing for.
You just know, right?
Yeah, you just
Perfect.
know.
Well, let's give our vinaigrette a quick taste
Okay.
here, just on that note. So we're in the headspace here of still remembering about our lobster, right?
Okay.
Well, that is so good. I can't wait to let you try that, but we're gonna have to wait till after the break, okay?
Sounds good.
We'll be back later in the show with Andrea to pull together our butter poached lobster with shaved asparagus and vanilla sea cider vinaigrette. But first, following the break, we're getting out of the studio. You'll want to stick around for that. We're out on the go in beautiful Cowichan Bay, Vancouver Island, and we came across an artisan ice cream shop, the original Utter Guys Ice Cream. What a unique name. I can't wait to get inside and try it. Beautiful sunny day. Nothing beats a good ice cream. Let's check it out. behind the scenes at Utter Guys in the kitchen with Eve. How you doing, Eve?
Pleasure.
Hey, thanks for having me back here. I really appreciate it.
Pleasure having you here.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is such a unique product that you make, and you have some staple flavors, but today you're working on something unique and special. Can you tell me about it?
I'm working today for the Denali Lavender Festival coming up on July 15th.
Yeah.
We're doing 200 units of lavender with lemon in it. So it's a lemon lavender ice cream.
Nice. And
the base basically is pretty tricky to work with lavender.
So what have you got in here?
So right now it's just milk, sugar, eggs, cream, eggs.
None of that funny other stuff, right?
No gum, no scum or anything. And the lavender and a little bit of lemon. That's it.
Very nice, yeah.
It's straight. It's a French custard ice cream. All our ice creams are French custard, which means they're all hand cooked.
Yeah, and which is unique, right? A lot of places, when they're doing volume like you do, they try to kind of cheat on a little bit, don't they?
They use cold. It's called cold custard. Basically, they use premix and then they add their own flavorings to it, and it's homemade ice cream. But they use premix like Dairy Queen, basically.
Yeah, right. Nothing but the real deal here at Utter Guys.
Whereas here, our ice cream, by the time we sell it in the front, it's over 18% butter fat.
That's awesome.
So it's a health food.
Yeah. And so the process here now.
From here, it'll go into our batch machine, which actually creates it like a soft serve.
Yeah.
And once that, so it's now it's half basically cool.
Right.
Then it goes into the hardening cabinet, which is 40 below, and then harden the ice cream. We basically try and use as much local produce as possible in the strawberries, the raspberries, the blackberries. We have suppliers that do it for us.
Very nice. Yeah.
And the rest we basically we use enhancers, which are usually brought in from Germany or Italy as all natural products.
Really, yeah. That are really strong, unique flavors.
Pure. Right? We just cannot continue to do everything by hand.
Yeah, no,
I can't process 30 cases of mango.
I can see looking around your kitchen here, the staff's pretty tight, and it's a real family affair.
7 o'clock this morning.
Speaking of which, do you mind if we go out front?
No,
maybe I can try a couple?
No, I want you to try.
That'd be awesome. Thanks, each.
Lemon ice cream.
Ah, very nice.
Hardest ice cream to make. Pure lemon juice, citric acid. If it hits the cream wrong, curdles the whole
Curdles right away, absolutely.
This tastes like lemon meringue pie.
Oh my goodness. You're never going to get me out of this story, if I tell you. Look at all these flavors. So, run me through some of your most popular flavors. Like, what would you say is...
Ice cream is a mood thing. We never know what's going to sell the most. Some days it's coffee, blackberry, rum and raisin. Our number one sellers are chocolate nut fudge.
Oh, I wouldn't say no to a little taste of that. Won't lie to you.
What we do is we use a high-end Dutch cocoa. It's called the Royal Dutch Chocolate.
Okay.
So our ice cream tastes like the old fudgicles from years ago. Oh, then we have our homemade fudge with walnut, hazelnut, and almonds in it.
It's so rich. You can tell that you use real cream. Like that's what separates it, right?
That's what makes us. That's why we're known here.
So smooth and creamy.
Yeah.
Now I got one other favor to ask. Can I actually get what a scoop would look like?
Sure. Give you a waffle cone here, and I'll give you the happy flavor.
The happy flavor. I like the sounds of that.
This is one for strictly adults.
Strictly adults, eh? So
this is a regular size. And this is Morgan rum and raisin.
Morgan rum and raisin. Gotta like that. Look at all the raisins in there. You can just tell it's creamy already. Can't wait to dig in. You know what, Eve? I think this right here would be a great reason to get off the main highway and take a swerve down in here into Cowichan Bay, wouldn't it be?
A lot of people do.
Am I gonna be able to drive after this?
It's only got about 3-4%.
Oh. It's delicious.
Good.
Can I get a handshake?
Yes, sir. It was a real pleasure. Thank you ever so much for coming in.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for having us here.
We appreciate it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Have a great day.
I'm going to now. Know that. It's back to our kitchen where we're working with Ballerina Andrea Bayne on my version of her favorite dish. Butter poached lobster with shaved asparagus salad and vanilla sea cider vinaigrette. All right, while we were away, what did we do? We pulled the lobster out of the court bouillon there, so that's been chilling a little bit, so we'll be able to handle it in here in a second. I got the asparagus out and it's been blanched, so we're just gonna add this to our salad. And then we can just add some of that vinaigrette right to this. So do you want to do that for me? You just give it a little stir with a spoon, and then you can spoon maybe, let's do, I don't know, 3 tablespoons.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
And meanwhile, I'm going to do a few herbs here just to finish up our salad. Just want some nice big pieces of parsley in there. Parsley adds an awesome flavor, a nice freshness to the dish, right? So parsley goes in there. And then some chives. Chives give it a little bite and also, you know, that nice sort of fresh herbaceous flavor as well. There we go. And then the butter portion of our butter poached lobster. So I've got a whole pound of butter in there, which is probably pretty crazy. I love how the eyes go bright when I say that. But we've got a whole pound of butter in there. So we're gonna add some white wine to it. So you just got like you never want to use like a wine you wouldn't drink. So if you drink it, you can cook with it, okay? There we go, just a little bit there. That was maybe half a cup. We'll save the rest for, yeah. Don't tell anybody. Perfect, so that's in there. We already used salted butter, so that's fine. I'm gonna set that over to the side for a second. And let's get him over here, make some room. So, nicely cooked. See how it changed colors? Looks great. For this particular dish, we're not gonna use the claws, but I mean, you would definitely eat the claws, right?
Yes.
You would never let that go to waste.
No.
But we're gonna work just with the tail for now. So, grabbing it with both hands here, we're gonna kind of squeeze with I squeeze with my top hand. Actually, let me use this bowl here. I squeeze with my top hand, and then twist with the bottom, okay? And look what's gonna happen here.
Good job.
I know, it's like I know what I'm doing, right?
It's like you're a chef.
Like a chef or something. All right, perfect. So we got a little bit of the guts there, but that's okay. We'll just clean that up a little bit. And then we're gonna dunk this right into that butter sort of poaching over here. Just give it a little stir around. It smells amazing. I don't know if you can smell that, but
yeah,
you got this butter, white wine kind of smell. And we'll go back to our plate and start plating this up.
Okay.
So this is half the fun of the dish, is in making it look pretty on a plate, right?
Right.
Just like the beautiful presentation on a plate, you have to have beautiful presentation out on the dance floor. Tell me a little bit about the dress that you brought.
This definitely helps my presentation. It's a tutu.
Yeah, not a dress at all.
Not a dress at all.
Shows what I know.
That's fine. That's fine. Not everybody loves ballet, but everybody should.
Everybody should, yeah. I won't disagree with that.
It's a tutu, and it's made of layers and layers of tulle.
Okay.
And it costs a lot of money to make because it takes hours and hours and hours
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
The intricacy of that, right? Like it's just like doing all the prep for the food. So you got all this beautiful stuff that you're going to be wearing on the show, but people don't see all the work that sometimes goes behind it, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's some similarities between cooking and ballet. I see more and more as we do this.
Yeah, no, I found that really interesting. That there was some really interesting correlations in
fondue
right?
means to melt.
Show me a fondue move.
Fondue means to melt.
I don't know about my melting capabilities there.
That wasn't too bad at all.
Thank you very much. I've been practicing in the mirror by myself a lot.
I knew it. I could tell.
You could tell, yeah. So the lobster, as you can see, and it's just kind of sitting in the butter, getting all yummy and tasty. I've been kind of just rolling it around a little bit in there. Obviously, if we had more lobster meat, that would be better. But for today's, today's show, this is what we're doing. I took our shaved asparagus salad, and I've just put a little bit in the middle of the plate there, and then we're going to go ahead and get our lobster tail here, and we'll give it a few little slices here.
Okay.
Okay.
Such a pretty color.
It is, isn't it? Ooh, it's hot. And we're just going to slice through here, and this should actually look really gorgeous because we've got that green from the asparagus salad here. Do me a favor.
Yes.
You can be part of the process here.
Okay.
I'll get you just to take a little tablespoon of that and kind of drizzle it over. Do like a little pirouette over the top of the dish here.
Right.
You thought you were just coming on the show to eat, hey? Then no, we're actually putting you to work.
Sous chef.
That's it, sous chef.
Ta-da!
Very nice, beautiful. I like it. Okay, so I'm just gonna garnish it with that a little bit. And I might actually just put a couple of little pieces of hazelnut on there, just to add a little more crunch, because we don't have much texture in this plate, right? And we're about balance of texture and colors and flavors and all that kind of stuff. So, there it is.
Wow.
Our butter poached lobster with shaved asparagus and vanilla bean champagne sea cider vinaigrette.
Amazing.
Does look pretty good. Should we try it?
We should.
All right, let's give it a whirl. Appelez-vous, madame? Oh yeah, you went for the biggest piece.
I have to. Oh my gosh. That was so good. I'm back home.
I know, it does feel like we're in the Maritimes right now, doesn't it? Thank you so much. And that's your dish done my way.
Amazing. Thanks so much.
You're very welcome. You should try a little bit of the salad with it too here. And now that time of the show where we get to enjoy an amazing beverage. With me today is Mike from Seasider. Mike, how are you?
Hey, Garrett, how are you?
Thanks for being here today, pal.
Good to see
Appreciate
you.
it. So we've got some butter poached lobster. What have you brought to pair with it?
Well, we're going to pair that with our Pippins here, which is certified organic.
Okay.
And it's a single varietal yellow Newtown Pippin that we use.
And Pippin's a variety of apple?
Pippins is a variety of apple. It's a Old World apple, and we've done this cider in a New England style, so it's chapteralized till 9.5%.
Oh, wow. So it's got a little bit of kick.
Yeah, it's got a bit of
like
kick,
it.
and it's got some acid, and it's going to cut through this lobster beautifully.
Nice. Now, I noticed the bottles are really unique there. So you pop the top, but now there's another portion of it, right?
Yeah, so you pop it, and then you can use this flip top to reseal it. So it can last, up to a week and a few days in your fridge. You can cook with it after that if it loses a bit of carbonation.
There you go.
Yeah.
So cook with it today, drink it tomorrow, that kind of thing?
You bet.
So really delicious flavor, love it. The bubbles are just perfect, like they're not too overpowering, just really delicious. I want to try how it works out with this lobster and the vanilla. I think you're gonna.
Let's give it a try.
I think you're gonna get it here again. I don't usually work with lobster because I'm on the West Coast, right? But having some East Coast roots and some love for the East Coast, lobster is so good.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, wow. That's almost like a match made in heaven right there. I mean,
perfect.
The Pippins go so nicely with that richness of the lobster. That's incredible.
Yeah, cuts right through it. It's
Mike, as they say on the Maritimes, eyes the buys that builds the boat. I don't even know what that means, but thanks for being
Eyes
here.
the buy that sails it.
Yeah, there you go. Check out our website where you'll find more information on today's show and maybe a few surprises. I'm Garrett Schack. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to savor the flavor. Oh, we're gonna try another bite of this. Yeah, no, it really is spectacular.